women in my generation, especially people who want to be married and have successful relationships, have a lot to learn and a lot to gain from the things that you say, but get so caught up in maybe what comes off as insulting or, I don't know, intimidating, that they miss the rest of what they would otherwise agree with or see as valuable information.
Okay. Uh, it's meant to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because your generation has been told you can have everything and there are no limits.
Hmm.
And your world is your oyster. It's called a pattern interrupt.
Hmm.
It's meant to shock you and get your attention to realize that guess what? You've been lied to. You can't have it all. You have to make choices. There's a movie called The Matrix. Came out in 99, 2000. I don't know if you watched it before.
My older boyfriend showed it to me during the pandemic, so it's
All
fresh.
right.
Yeah.
So when Neo was given a choice between the blue pill, which is the good feeling, go back to sleep and believe whatever you want, or the red pill. Do you remember what happened to him? The shock of
Yeah.
that system, waking up, oh shit. But in order to become who he needed to become, he needed to wake up.
Hmm.
If the media messages have been telling women, don't worry about it, postpone marriage, later, and you can do whatever you want, so on and so forth. Why do you think that message exists? Because one, it keeps more consumers in the market. Two,
Hmm.
women spend more than men. The messages are for the 73% of women who spend the dollar. So I get it. The message is shocking. It's because you guys are more asleep than any other generation. My generation didn't realize how asleep we were. Then the next generation is more asleep than that, and the next generation is more asleep.
So Kevin Samuels used the classic Matrix example to explain the RP. You see, there are two things that I believe, two goals, right? That I believe the powers that be or society, whatever you call it, there are two agendas that I've noticed like they want to accomplish with people, right? First off, they want to convince women in our modern day that they could have it all, right? They ask those women, why do you need to submit to your man? Why can't you be the man of the house? Why can't you wear the pants? Why does he have to make the decisions, right? Why should you respect the leadership of a man? What's a man done for you, right? You see, that concept, right? Convincing a woman that she does not need a man is attractive to a woman. Why? Because it's game. It's game. Women, modern women, have been gamed up by the powers that be, by society, right? By women empowerment. Whatever you want to call it, they've been gamed up, and they know that if they convince women that they don't need man, then they will make decisions. And in most cases, women are more emotional than men, so buying decisions would be more emotional. But notice this, that same tactic of trying to convince women that they don't need men, that same approach, right, does not work for men. So the approach they use for men is different, right? Game works for women. That's why the serpent deceived Eve and said, hey, you don't need God. You can be like God. Do you guys see the parallels in this? It gets deep, right? The goal is to plant disorderliness amongst men and women. And so the people who are at power, they don't have to deal with competition, because when people are working together, now they fear people taking their spot. But society doesn't only want women to stay asleep, right? And believe in this idea of you could have it all and there's no give and take. To believe in this man, this magical man who's going to come out of nowhere, who never comes, by the way, because people are more miserable now than ever. Society and the powers that be also want to convince men that that masculinity that you have, right? That need to compete, that need to assert yourself, it's wrong. It's bad. See, for the women, they tell them, hey, you don't need a man. For the men, they tell them, hey, masculinity is toxic. And what does that do? That convinces a bunch of men that they are terrible for being who they are by nature, which is competitive, which is assertive, right? Who they were made to be by nature. Convinces them that they are wrong for being their natural selves. And so what happens? They don't compete. And if a man is not masculine, he is feminine. And then what you have is a feminine world that is non-competitive. And when the masses are feminine, they're more easily manipulated. Here's my point. They don't want you to compete. They is anybody. Could be anything, man. Could be the system. Could be the powers that be, right? They is anybody who is above you and has power over you. If they can convince you that your masculinity and your desire to compete and be a better version of yourself is toxic, then they win. Then they win. They want men and women to stay asleep, right? And that's what I put together from watching that live with Kevin Samuels. This is important that you understand this as a man, is that you have to compete. You have to seriously take a look at your life and ask yourself, am I doing the best I can to be the best version of myself? When a man puts his mind to something, things happen, but you got to put in the work. You've got to get the skills needed so you can make more money. You gotta improve, man. Stop waiting for a system that's gonna save you. Stop waiting for people to join your pity party, right? No one's gonna join your pity party. Men don't have the same type of sympathy that women have. As a man, you have to realize the importance of embracing your masculinity. Embracing your purpose and embracing being competitive in our generation, man. That's what's gonna separate you. Don't fall for the trick. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, it really helped me if you hit that like button so other people could hear this message. And of course, it helps boost my channel. If you have any questions, have any points to make, please let me know in the comment section down below. Listen, I appreciate every single person that subscribed to my channel. I really do, man. I really enjoy doing this. And I thank you so much for the opportunity for lending an ear to listen. My name is Chisha Zed. We'll talk soon. Peace.